All right, here we go, diving into episode 3 of the Fighting for Fatherhood podcast. And I just want to hit on something that was kind of a small little win moment for me and then an encouragement for you guys. So, last night when we were putting the kids to bed, I do story time with my daughters. And when we were finishing this story, some of you may have heard of the story, Are You My Mother? Now, remember, my kids are 4 and 3 and 1, so I have littles in home. But with my littles, we read those little, like, Dr. Seuss style books. And it's this little bird that falls out of a tree, tries to find its mother, and then finds its mother in the end of the story. And for some reason, this correlated in my daughter's mind to one of her dreams where she was a little bird and she had flown and was having fun flying, and she had this dream of flying, and in that dream I flew with her and I was her father bird. And so it kind of played on the story quite a bit, and after finishing the story it reminded her of that dream, and she got to talk to me about this dream. And I still had to put the 1-year-old to bed. I had to get my nighttime routine done. We were already a little past bedtime and I was a little tired, but I took the time to sit there and share in that small moment with my daughter and talk to her about that dream. And I got to encourage her in that, and get to push her for something to look forward to. And so for me, coming out of that moment, I was asking my daughter about the dream, and there's a big difference between taking those small things that are actually pretty big to your kids. You got to remember the things that look incredibly small to us are actually incredibly big to them at that age. And so you got to take those small moments and take them for what they are. But for me, I took that small moment that was big to my daughter and really paid attention. And that's what you have to do in these moments. And then I got to ask her about it, and I got to encourage her to dream about it again tonight. And then the cool thing is where you really build an understanding and a relationship with your kids is when you also take the time to follow up on it. And so this morning when I got home from the gym, I got to go ask her, did she have the dream again? And did we fly again? And she said no. And so I said, okay, we'll try again tomorrow. Don't worry. But and she was a little discouraged this morning, but it was fun because I got to play on something as big as it was to her, even though it was really minuscule to me. This is where real relationships form. These are the things that really make an impact in having a serious relationship with your kids, with your wives, with friends, with family. It doesn't matter who it is. Taking the things that look small to you and really paying attention, really diving in, and really encouraging it to somebody who it's a big thing to them is where you actually show that you care. And so finding these moments where your kids want to share something with you, sure, I could have just told her it's a dream, go to bed, you'll dream about it later. But taking the time to sit on her bed and talk to her about it was the ability to grow that relationship. And this is where you either build or you tear down relationships. There's too many parents out there who view the small things as small things and just shove them off. And there's no wonder why when your kids are teenagers, they're neglecting to tell you things. They're too scared to come up to you and have conversations because too often in their lives when they were little, they wanted to have those conversations. They wanted to share wins. They wanted to come up to you, and you pushed it off as too small. So now when the things are big, when they're having conversations about, I was exposed to drugs, I was exposed to alcohol, I was exposed to sex, I was brought into all of these things in high school, and the conversations that you really want your kids to have with you, they're not going to come to you because you've conditioned into them the expectation not to come to you as a parent. And so if you got little kids right now and you're not paying attention to those small moments, your kids aren't going to come to you in the big moments. And if you got kids right now and you neglected the small things over the years and now you're worried about their teenage years, start with the small things now. And don't just do it because you want them to have the big conversations. You got to be truly invested into the conversation and know what's going on in their lives. They're not going to just all of a sudden open up to you and say, hey, mom, my friend offered me alcohol when I stayed the night the other night. They're going to start by saying, hey, mom, I had a friend who helped me with this in class. And you're going to dive into that conversation. And when you start allowing them to open up, that's when you're going to grow those things. So if you've made the mistakes of not investing in your kids in the younger years and you got teenagers now, it's never too late. And if you start now, you're going to grow that relationship. So don't be discouraged if you've made the mistakes in the past and you can't grow those relationships. You can still grow the relationship. And if you got littles right now, take advantage of the situation. Start taking every moment that you can and listen to what they have to say to you, because that's what's going to make an impact when they come to you with something that really matters. You want your kids to turn to you before they turn to Google or they turn to their friends and peers, because that's where things go wrong. This is where you build a relationship with your kids. Take advantage of the small things, like when they want to tell you about a silly little dream, when they want to tell you about an imaginary friend, when they want to tell you about something that happened on the playground. Those moments will make or break your longevity in your relationship with your kids. So take the time today, Go talk to your kids. Figure out what's important to them today. And it's going to be different tomorrow. If you know anything about kids and how short their memories are and how short their attention spans are, the things that's important today isn't going to matter tomorrow, which means that they're going to have the same amount of energy telling you about something at the playground today as they're going to have telling you about something that happened in a book tomorrow. It doesn't make a difference, but invest into every single day and figure out what's important to them every single day, because eventually you're going to ask that question and they're going to go, well, Jimmy brought weed to school today. And then you're going to sit there and go, okay, and how do we handle this? And they're going to be open to tell you that at that moment. So grow the relationships with your kids now so that you don't have to fight it in their teenage years and late years. Start investing today and see the impact tomorrow.